Hello, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Jack, editor from Ringier Trade Media. I would like to welcome all of you to this very exciting webinar focusing on groundbreaking technology for plastic recycling. According to the report, resource extraction and processing are responsible for more than 90% of global biodiversity loss and water stress. Conservation and restoration effort will not suffice to stop and revise this situation. Our production and consumption systems must be rethought, including resource overexploitation, greenhouse gas emissions, and pollution associated with the current take, make, waste economy. The transition to a circular economy provides an actionable framework for such transformative change, redesigning the economy towards a nature-positive future. Oh, okay. Thank you. Nowadays, plastic products manufacturers have realized that we need to increase the decontamination of industrial plastic waste in order to reduce the burden on our environment. In this aspect, reliance on cutting-edge filtration recycling technology to remove harmful materials from plastic has been able to help turn plastic waste into usable materials. In support of the move towards a circular economy, and it's even better, the solution comes in a variety of models and sizes to accommodate all material processing requirements. Today, we are very happy to have our experts from Fimic, Ms. Aria Chen and Mr. Michael Colomberry, and our keynote speaker, Mr. Crispian Lau, who will discuss how plastics production can be environmentally friendly, efficient, and highly productive. Let's go to our very exciting agenda. After my opening today, first, let's welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Crispian Lau, Vice Chairman of the Philippine National Solid Waste Management Commission and founding President of the Philippine Alliance for Recycling and Material Sustainability, or PARMS, P-A-R-M-S. Introductive video sharing will be the next session. And then our technology presentation will have Mrs. Aria Chen, Regional Sales Management at Fimic as speaker. She will talk about Fimic's new technology for improving plastic recycling. Last is very exciting, our open forum, live Q&A and consultation. In this session, we will address all of your concerns and questions on the latest Fimic technology for plastic recycling, as well as other questions on recycling. Take advantage of this opportunity to ask your speakers as many questions as you can. Ms. Aria Chen will be joined by Mr. Michael Colomberry, Regional Sales Manager from Fimic 2, in this open forum. Use the chat box here function. Yes, as many people already did it. On your right-hand side, your questions may be discussed in the chat room, or if we can run out of time, the speaker will contact you after this webinar. And then let's welcome our first keynote speech from Mr. Crispian Lau. Let's welcome him. Give him a warm applause.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from anywhere in the world you are, and welcome to this webinar. I was requested to give you an overview of post-consumer plastic market here in Asia. My name is Crispian Lau. I am a commissioner and the vice chair of the National Solid Waste Management of the Philippines, and I'm also the founding president of the Philippine Alliance for Recycling and Material Sustainability. Now, to give you an idea of who the organization is, the Philippine Alliance for Recycling and Material Sustainability is a collaborative organization, non-stock, non-profit, composed of corporate members, industry groups, retail, MRFs, junk shops, consolidators, haulers, in partnership with civil society, and we are very working closely with government in developing and implementing a holistic and comprehensive program to increase resource recovery and reduce landfill dependence towards zero waste. Now, the Office of the President's National Solid Waste Management Commission is the authority as prescribed under the law to manage and handle all policies and programs on solid waste management at a national level. Local government units, on the other hand, are directly responsible for the management of the waste within their respective localities, and the industries and commercial establishments, as prescribed by law, will need to manage their own waste. Now, for PARMS, our investing partners are 11 uh, of the biggest fast-moving consumer group companies. We also have corporate members. We have technology partners. We work very close with the academic society and the civil society partners and industry groups. Just to give you a background of PARMS, PARMS made a declaration on zero waste to nature with a 2030 ambition. And in this declaration, the companies that are signing in pledge to reduce, reuse, recover, and recycle and take plastic waste away from nature. And the 4R approach would be to reduce by packaging redesign, increasing R&D, recycling, to reuse, looking at alternative delivery systems, to recover, which is actually key. Now, you need to recover. If you cannot recover, you cannot process. More importantly, the last pillar would be to recycle. Now, we need to increase the demand and applications for recycled materials locally, increase the linkage between consumer goods industry and the local recycling industry, look at high-end applications for recycled materials, and spur investments in the recycling industry. Of course, we will need government to provide the necessary incentives, and what's important is this provides job for the recycling industry sector. Now, the organization has set the objectives in developing the strategy, the enabling policies, and the glide path, and this had been developed with all stakeholders and applicable to local conditions. When you look at the business as usual scenario, and this is important that people looking into putting up recycling infrastructure is to look at the needs and the demands of the local industry. Look at this for the Philippines. When you look at rigids, polyethylene and polypropylene is already managed of up to 100%. You would see a big gap in PET bottle recycling. So the objective of the study is look into how we can spur recovery and investments in bottle-to-bottle recycling for PET so that we can minimize the amount of red area which is leakage to the environment. Flexibles pose a bigger challenge. Anywhere in Asia, this is where we need to ramp up innovation and investments. And without the innovation and investments for treatment, we will see that it will continue to leak into the environment. So the way to remove the red zones is identify what type of packaging there are and develop systems and identify options for conversion of these materials so that it will not be undiverted, okay, and it will not leak into the waterways. We have established a diversion roadmap, and in developing this roadmap, we have identified some key elements that needs to be in place. First is the labeling. Now, we need to label products, especially for flexible packaging, better so that we can easily identify the pathway as to where it needs to go. Then we are looking at an EPR or extended producer's responsibility system that will divert the output and will bring these materials, okay, to the facilities that can process them, whether it's recycling to plastic products, whether it's waste to fuel, whether it's asphalt roads, co-processing, and even in preparation to chemical recycling. Now, let's look at the Asian landscape. You know, the World Bank has come up with this study on water waste in 1999. We're hoping that there are updated and more better numbers, but let's look at what the numbers tell us. This chart tells you solid waste generation in kilograms per capita per day from low income, middle income, and high income class. You would see from this chart that municipal solid waste generation is actually a factor of GNP. You know, the higher the GNP, the higher the municipal solid waste generation. Now, this table would show us, okay, out of that waste that is being generated, how much of it would be plastics, right? So the study shows that again, 50%, more than 50% is coming from Asia, where India, China, Indonesia leads it. So when you look at waste generation, understandably, India, China, and Indonesia have relatively high populations, but you would also see that Japan, highly developed countries, and rapidly developing countries like Thailand, Korea, in fact, is actually on top of the list. Now, when you look at per capita waste generation ranking, this can tell us that the volumes are really in Asia because Asia is the manufacturing hub now for the rest of the world. Now, if you look at per capita consumption versus income per capita, you would see again, Korea is way up there, Japan, Malaysia, Thailand. And you would see that countries like the Philippines, Sri Lanka, developing countries, but even Indonesia, ranks at the low part in terms of per capita consumption of plastics. Of course, the references are shown here. A lot of the slides that I'm presenting did not actually are not my research. It is research of credible and noted people. So another research that we'd like to look into would be mismanaged plastic waste. No? The study of Jambek's study of the University of Georgia has shown, again, that more than 50% of mismanaged waste are coming from the Asia region. You would see that China, Indonesia, and the Philippines ranks among the top three, right? And you would see the volume of marine litter in the for plastics, no? Or plastics in marine litter. How much volume is out there? Of course, we will always, as an industry, be criticized, but businessmen can also look into these volumes as potential opportunities for us. Now, the UN Environment Regional Office gave this presentation, and this was extracted from different studies, showing that, globally, there are 400 million tons produced in 2015, and 36% of this would be short-life plastic packaging. The study also shows that only 9% of plastics is actually being recycled globally. 12% is being incinerated or burned, and 79% ends up in landfill or dumps. Now, in developing countries that lacks the infrastructure, countries like the Philippines, then a big portion is actually leaked into the environment. Now, this table prepared by IGES for the state of 3Rs in Asia and the Pacific would show or attempts to show recycling rates in the Asia region. You would see that for industrial waste in China, it ranks very high. Of course, Japan has relatively high recycling rates across the country. The Philippines, interestingly, has a very high 31% recycling rate in Metro Manila. But again, this is Metro Manila. Okay, this is not the whole country. Now, Singapore, interestingly enough, has a very high recycling rates. The bigger challenge really is the way recycling rates are calculated, because globally at present there is no standardized methodology, even in ISO, that gives you a background on how recycling rate should be calculated. Now let's look at some other numbers. No? Again, the study by Conversio on the global plastics flow shows, okay, packaging, okay, which is comprising about, 68 million metric tons generated. It shows you how much is collected for treatment, and it shows that this table shows how much is actually being improperly disposed or leaked into the ocean. Now, if you look at post-consumer plastic waste generation by region, Asia and the Oceania has a potential now of about 34.5 million metric tons that can be a resource that can be converted and recycled. So this is a big opportunity for the recycling industry to step up and come up to the challenge to address the challenge of improper disposal, the challenge of leakage, and really fill that gap. Now, I'm trying to be conservative. This should have been more than 34.5. You have to take in the 7.5, but in reality, something will still be left. So let's focus on the 35% first and slowly bring it up to the 42.5% or 43%. Now, how do we achieve this? Now, to achieve this, it is important for us to look into circular economy. And recycling would play a critical role in making our economy sustainable and circular. Now, the transition from linear economy, where we take from the natural resources, we make and we simply dispose of it, to the circular economy, okay, would benefit, our sustainable development goals set by the UN. And what benefits the most would be on responsible consumption and production, understanding that there is a limit in the resources that we have, and then these natural resources are not infinite. So it is important for us, if we want future generations to have access to what we have right now, then we have to leave something for them, for their future. Now, the transition from the linear economy to a circular economy can go in stages. No? From where we are right now, of take, make, and dispose, to circular economy with feedback loops, wherein we still need to take in from fossil fuel to produce our plastic products, right? We still need to dispose, in the interim, some of the products that cannot be recovered or recycled. And in the long term, we should see ourselves in a fully circular economy. Now, the circular economy Asia, again, this is a table from the circular economy Asia, already developed their roadmap on how to attain a circular economy in Asia, regardless of material, right? And what they are advocating for is that very little natural resources or man-made resources are recovered. So the idea of taking and disposing will be shift to more circularity, wherein from use, you bring it back to the facilities and bring it back into the system so that you prevent the accumulation of waste. And in doing so also, you minimize the amount of waste that is actually taken from the environment. Now, the Asia Plastics and Packaging Agreement of 2050, under the Circular Economy Asia model, has set landmarks and targets that they need to achieve. Now, in 2020, more than 100 companies have signed to this Asia Plastics and Packaging Voluntary Agreement. In the agreement, by 2025, which is around the corner, 4 years from now, It will remove all microbeads in cosmetics and personal care products. What is important to us in this session would be increase of recycling rates by 3% annually. And this is a global commitment, right? And then you would see that in 2030, 100% of plastics packaging will be recyclable or reusable. What does this mean? More feedstock that allows you to increase the content of and then more demand. So it's a two-pronged approach by looking at the feedstock, increasing the feedstock of recyclable materials that will be out there, and an increased demand for recycled products or recyclates or recycled materials that will feed in to the packaging once the 50% is actually realized. And then they will be more ambitious 5 years down the road, where the recycled content will be increased to 75%, right? And the collection processing will also look at 75%. Definitely, no, you cannot recycle what you cannot recover, right? So again, um, this is a very good roadmap that had been laid out. And if this is actually followed, then we're looking at sensational opportunities for the recycling industry. Now, when you look at circular economy for plastics, from where we are right now, you know, we are looking in a future under an ideal scenario of a new plastics economy where, the sources of virgin feedstock would be renewable when possible, right? Then you make it totally circular, right? And then you make use of it as much as possible. And you would see that recycling in this model of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation is on the top of the list. Now, the GA Circular Study in 2020 shows, and if you look into this study, it will tell you that packaging regulations and standards play an essential role in driving the circular economy. So you have to look into policies. Now, it is important to have the right policies in place to affect circular economy. Now, in 2025, okay, in June of 2019, 50 brands and retailers from across the globe, have already made, bold commitments. No? And again, out of 400 organizations has signed into the new plastics economy global commitment, developed by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. 50 brands have look or have or are looking into piloting or expanding reuse and refill schemes. But then we in Asia, especially those from the developing countries, understand or know for a fact that unless the economy goes better, expanding reuse and refill schemes will be very, very difficult because of the consumption patterns and the capability of our market to buy in bulk. So what is important is to really look into shifting into recycling. And if the commitments of recycled contents for consumer packaged goods is realized, then this 5.4 million tons demand for recycled products or plastics by 2025 will really make a big, big difference in recycling infrastructure across Asia. Now, one of the bigger success stories, if we may say, for circular model under plastics would be the PET. No? There is now technology that can convert post-consumer PET materials used in beverages back into bottle that is fit for post-consumer food applications. So food grade output demand in Southeast Asia, okay, would increase, 300 folds. So this is really a big opportunity for the recycling industry in Asia. And this is something that is worth looking at because the demand will continue to increase. The challenge for everyone right now is how to make our pet recycled PET from post-consumer, how to make this price competitive against the virgin. Now, at present, what we know is that the price of our pet is higher than virgin PET, right? If we are successful in scaling up, production, improving the way we are recovering our pet, redesigning our pet so it becomes more recyclable, then the potential would really skyrocket for all of us. I mentioned about designing for recycling. Designing for recycling is very, very important to improve the quality of feedstock that is available for recycling. If you look at your own recycling market, anything that has value would be something that would be picked up and brought to a recycling center. Whether it's through an informal system or a formal system. Now, how do we increase the recycling opportunities of a product? And remember, when you do that, it should be in a local context and it should consider local recovery and recycling infrastructures. Now, I'll give you an example, okay? For glass bottles in the Philippines, wine bottles are made of glass, but they are not recyclable. So nobody's gonna pick it up. I'll shift to PET, which is closer to our hearts here because everybody's talking plastics here. There is not a big enough market for colored PET. So why don't we just remove pigments and colors away from PET, remove printing from PET, no? Just leave labels, just let it have the labels so that it doesn't contaminate the waste stream. So these are easy design tools that can be applied to make our products in the market more easier to manage as far as recovery is in place. Now, you have to understand also in designing for recycling, what is the infrastructure available? Is it manual sorting or is it automatic sorting? Now, when we look at other polyolefin materials like PE or PP, let's look into how the role that fillers play. We have to minimize not only the colors, but also the fillers or additives that are put. So try to remove unnecessary additives, try to remove the pigments to increase the value of those materials, okay? And try to minimize as much as possible, okay, printing applications. Again, you have to match it. If you have a high market for dark colored materials, then fine. But then if the market wants to go towards packaging where consistency of color is demanded, it is important that when you design for recycling in a local context, you design it more on transparent or colorless applications. Now, here are some sources that you might want to look at. The Association of Plastic Recyclers and the US Plastics Pact provide some crash courses on designing for recycling. Please visit their website and you'd be able to see some or get some information, and it's free. You just need to log in and attend their seminars. Plastic Recyclers Europe also have this Recyclas, wherein they provide design options also for recycling. So thank you very much. So I'll leave you with this word. It is really important for us to look at the total landscape in the local setting where you are. You have to look into the volumes as a parting word. Again, the challenge really is enormous, but we look at challenges as businessmen, as opportunities, and opportunities for recycling is there. All we need to do is to tap them, and all we need to do is to develop the right infrastructure for properly recovering. You have to recover it first, then you recycle it. After you recycle it, you have to, the most important thing is to ensure that there is a market, whether it's a local market or an export market, for the products that you will come up with. Otherwise, recycling would be futile. So with that, I'll end my talk for today, and thank you very much for listening.
you, Crispian Lau, for the very insightful, very interesting topic and the content today. And also, my dear delegates, please in the chat box right now and welcome and thank you, Mr. Crispian Lau, for his presentation. Okay. Thank you, Crispian Lau. And next, I would like to welcome all of you. Go to our technical speech. Thank you for very great opening. And then we will narrow down to the recycling technology topic now. Let's now watch a brief introduction on Fimic before we proceed with our next speaker, Miss Aria Chen.
Fimic is a family-owned company, founded in 1963 and based in northeast Italy, Padua province, just next to Venice. We are focusing on the design and manufacturing of automatic and continuous melt filters and guillotines for the plastic recycling industry.
Thank you for that. It's very exciting, right? Let's welcome Miss Aria Chen. Fimic has put in a lot of effort in and also experience in the plastic recycling industry. The company specializes in the design and manufacture of automatic and self-cleaning plastic recycling screen changers. Their filters are one of a kind, available in a variety of models and sizes to meet all requirements in terms of processing material, hourly production target, degree and type of contamination to be removed, and filtration requirements. Today, Ms. Aria Chen, Regional Sales Manager at Fimic, will talk about the breakthrough Fimic's new technology for improving plastic recycling. I'm sure everyone is very excited about this, and Aria will use 3D demonstration to show us Fimic's latest recycling innovation. So let's welcome Miss Aria Chen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining Fimic's webinar today. We are very happy to be here to talk with you about plastic recycling. And there's another very exciting news is that we will be sharing a groundbreaking technology for plastic recycling today. Please stay tuned. First of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Aria Chen. I'm the Regional Sales Manager of Fimic. I'm taking care of the customers here in Asia. I've been working in the plastic machine industry for more than 10 years, and including recycling machines. So you are very welcome to talk with me about plastic recycling. And now I'm going to introduce our company Fimic to you. Fimic is from Italy. We are a family-owned company founded in 1963. Ever since the company was founded, we've been dedicating our business in plastic recycling industry. Our main product is automatic filter and guillotines. And of course, today we will be sharing our new machine to everybody in this webinar. Until today, we have 740 sets of filters and guillotines running in different countries. And many of the machines are working in the plastic recycling industry leaders. We are Fimic, a company which is dedicating the business into plastic recycling industry. We have 34 professionals working together in the team, and the team is growing every year. Everyone in Fimic is doing their best to give customer good support. In addition to our team, we also have a lot of agents in different countries to give customer closer supports. Plastic recycling has become a very hot topic in recent years. So we are dedicating in plastic recycling industry. Our philosophy is to produce a machine which can help customer to reduce their operational cost and upgrade the performance. Here, I would like to show you a video for you to understand better what Fimic is working on.
Does your company recycle plastics? The European directive is clear. From 2025, plastic products must contain at least 25% recycled material. This is a very high percentage, and it is difficult to achieve, at least with manual or semi-automatic filters. However, it is not a problem. In fact, it represents a great business opportunity if you choose to rely on Fimic, a company specializing in the production of automatic and self-cleaning melt filters specifically dedicated to post-industrial and post-consumer plastics recycling. Its filtration technologies, one of a kind, guarantee high results and a very high quality of the final material. They are also available in different models and sizes, based on 3 factors: type of material to be recycled, required output per hour, contamination level and filtration requirements. These days, the amount of material to be recycled is ever increasing. At the same time, it is necessary to maintain high standards for high-quality results. To do so, Fimic adapts the technology to the customer's needs with 5 different screen changers, offers all possible filtrations, and covers the many different existing applications. Would you like to test your materials at Fimic? Book a test in our technical center.
Fimic's most famous machine is the automatic milk filter. We are the only company which can offer filter for post-industrial and post-consumer waste. In total, we have 5 different filters, targeting to different kind of material with different level of contamination. From less contaminated post-industrial waste to the post-consumer waste, which can go up to 25% of contamination level. The filter has the output from 300 kg per hour up to 6 tons, 6,000 kg per hour. We are offering filter to customer depending on customer's need. It can be different material or different contamination. We offer customized machine to customer. Also, we are the only company which can provide the automatic filter for PVC waste material in this industry. For the automatic filter, until today, we've installed more than 370 sets in the world, targeting to different types of plastic waste and contamination on different configuration and brands of extruder. We have a lot of experience on plastic recycling and the filters, so we can share a lot of good know-how with our customers. In addition to our popular automatic filter, to improve plastic recycling, today we are here to introduce Fimic's new machine. It's a revolutionary and innovation technology, a breakthrough solution for plastic recycling. Fimic is very happy to introduce our new innovation, the SPS screw pump. SPS stands for Screw Pump Automatic. This screw pump is designed for 2 big advantages. First, it's designed for plastic recyclers and the compounders to optimize the extruder output. The second advantage is to transport the plastic melt from first filter to second filter if a customer then needs to stage filtration. Fimic screw pump is a melt pump used for plastic recycling process. The SPS screw pump allows to transport the plastic melt from extruder to filter easily by screw without using the gears. It is very simple to use and great in result. The advantage of screw pump are here in this chart on the right-hand side. Comparing to the gear pump, the operational cost of a screw pump is not expensive, and it is very easy to operate. The gear in the gear pump is very sensitive, so it normally needs a pre-filtration before the gear pump to remove the contamination first. It is to protect the gear in the gear pump. And Fimic screw pump is using a screw to transport the plastic melt. The screw is less sensitive than the gear, so manual filter before the melt pump is not needed in our case. Hence, the screw pump is more suitable for plastic recycling, especially in post-consumer recycling, because you cannot expect any surprise during plastic recycling. And also, the spare parts of a screw pump is more affordable, and it is require less maintenance comparing to the gear pump. So the overall operational cost for a screw pump is lower comparing to the gear pump. Regular gear pump is more complex for operation, while SPS screw pump is easy to use and it doesn't need periodic replacement for the operator, by the operator. It can be installed either before or after the filter. If it's installed before the filter, it is to protect the twin screw extruder used especially in the compounding process. After the filter, it's to stabilize the pressure of the material and maximize the productivity of the filter and the extruder itself. So to sum up the advantage of the screw pump, it is very easy to operate. The screw is easy to be replaced, and the lifetime of the screw is much longer comparing to the gears. The touch screen, the control panel, is very easy to operate. It has 3 optional modes, so it's easy to change and be tested by different materials. And the low maintenance costs. Take into consideration for plastic recycling, it is always contamination in the plastic melt, and it can damage the gear more easily. The screw in the screw pump needs less maintenance, and the spare parts doesn't need to be changed as much as the gears. Also, significant saving even in the short term. Longer lifetime of the wearing parts. Optimization of the extruder performance. The screw pump can reduce the pressure from extruder, especially the twin screw extruder, and then increase again the pressure before the filter, so it can transport the plastic melt from twin screw extruder or just single screw extruder and transport the material into the filter. So it can bring more output from the extruder. Here, I would like to show you a video to show you how the screw pump works. There will be 2 examples of the installation. First, you will see the installation of the pump installed between 2 filters for those customers who need some 2-step filtration. So it can bring the material from first filter to the second filter without using the conventional type baby extruder if the customer they don't have any requirement for the gassing. So the screw pump is a transporter, a bridge from first extruder to the second extruder. Second installation example is to show the screw pump installed after the twin screw extruder to optimize the output from extruder. After screw pump, a filter is installed. I hope the video gives you a better understanding about how the SPS screw pump is working. So for SPS screw pump, we offer two sizes for this pump. First, SPA 120, the output can go up to 1 ton per hour. SPA 140 from 1 ton to 1.5 ton per hour. And SPA 160 from 1.5 ton to 2 tons per hour. And we understand many of you are working with higher output. So our R&D is designing a larger one which can reach a higher output. We will introduce you later. Now we will share our successful project with you. Here we will show 2 examples of installation. First is a screw pump being installed right after the twin screw extruder. And after the screw pump will be our automatic belt type filter 10 series. The 10 series filter is designed for the material which has less than 1% contamination. The second one is a screw pump being installed between 2 filters. So this is for 2-step filtration. The machine configuration will be single extruder, a Fimic RS 600 scraper type filter, SPA screw pump, and after the screw pump, a manual filter as a second stage filtration. First project is for PP washed post-consumer regrind. In the twin screw extruder, it's installed with SPA 140 screw pump and the Fimic 10 filter after the screw pump. The twin screw machine in general, it has a problem on pressure limitation. Plastic melts can go back to the degassing zone if the pressure at the extruder outlet is too high. So installation of the screw pump can help to reduce the pressure at the outlet of the twin screw extruder and then transport the material to the filter. It can prevent the material going back to the extruder and come out from the degassing zone if the outlet pressure is too high. You can see the configuration in the photo here. A twin screw machine and screw pump, and then the filter. Before the screw pump, there is no manual filter to protect the melt pump. Normally, the gear pump needs a pre-filter with 400 or 500 micron screen to protect the gears in the gear pump. And this screen has to be changed every 20 or 30 minutes, so it has much more work. But Fimic screw pump doesn't need a pre-filtration, which means less investment on the machine itself, less power consumption, and easier operation. Here I would like to show you more photos of this installation. On the left-hand side, you can see the screw pump. The twin screw extruder is from the very left-hand side. It transformed the material into SPA. The twin screw extruder is very often to have pressure limitation, as we mentioned before. If the extruder outlet pressure is too high, the material will be pushed back to the extruder and it will come out from the degassing zone. But the SPA screw pump helps to reduce the pressure at the extruder outlet. And the material will be sent into the screw pump, and screw pump will increase the pressure again and send the material into the filter. On the right-hand side, in this photo, you can see the installation of SPA and 10. The SPA is installed directly before the 10 filter. Also, the screw pump will transport the material from extruder to the 10 filter. This is the configuration. Here I will show you the video of this project. And here I will show you another video about it's about the filter, 10 filter. 10 filter is the continuously belt type filter, which is installed on this project. Let's take a look. And the second project we will be sharing is our single screw extruder together with RS 600. This is a scraping type filter from Fimic. And then the SPA 120. And after SPA 120, it's a manual filter as a second stage filtration. So in this case, the screw pump is used between two filters to transport the material from filter 1 to filter 2. And for this project, why customer they wanted to times filtration because they are recycling LDP washed post-consumer material, and they want to reduce the gel in the plastic pellets. So we propose them to have this configuration to have two times filtration. And the first time is the RX 600 for 120 micron filtration. And second step is the manual filter with 100 micron filtration. Output is 900 to 1,200 kg per hour. I can show you more photos here about this installation. So you can see the SPS screw pump is installing in between of two filters after RS 600 and before the manual filter. Here's the video of this project. Let's take a look. Thank you for your attention for today's webinar. We hope today's webinar can give you some more idea about how the plastic recycling trend is going. Later we will have a Q&A session, so please ask me if you have any questions during the Q&A session. And on the right-hand side is my contact information. You're also very welcome to send me an email or send me a message, call me to discuss anything about plastic recycling. Last and not least, we're gonna present you a new video of Fimic. You will see our team, our work, and this is our first time to present this video. I hope you will enjoy it, and please stay for the Q&A session after this video. Thank you.
Hello. Oh, sorry for that. Let me check. Okay, sorry for the microphone stuff. And welcome back. And Aria, are you ready? Let's welcome Aria and Mikale to join. Aria, now you are. Yes, you can come back now. And is Mikale ready? Yeah, I see Mikale is there. Mikale, are you ready? Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hello. While we are waiting for Mikale to get online too, after witnessing the latest Fimic innovation, I believe that all the delegates, we will have many questions and would like to learn more about their products and what these can do to improve your production as well, right? Aria and is Mikale ready yet? Oh, Mikale has to turn on the microphone and camera too, just like you, to join the live forum. And in this live forum, Mikale Columberry, along with Aria, also regional sales manager. Their contact information is now on your screen. You can screenshot, have more questions later, email them too. So, Aria, maybe while we wait for Mikale,
I can answer some questions first.
I was about to say that, but
Yeah.
could you please make
Okay,
sure that
Mikale is
Mikale,
online.
does he need
Yeah.
any help? Okay, hi Mikale. Yeah, because Mikale is from very far area to connect with us, right? Mikale, where are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm currently in France because I'm
Oh, I
assisting a
see.
customer for a startup. So I'm sorry for my background is not as nice as Aria's, but it's a hotel room. So
Very welcome, Mikale. Dear
Thank you.
delegates, say hi to Mikale in chat box, please.
Hey.
All right.
everyone.
Hi, Aria and Mikale. Would you please do you still remember how to publish the questions?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, please go to the Q&A mode on your right-hand side now. And Aria, you can search for the first question to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to collect all the questions in during your presentation. So yeah, you can find those questions.
And thank you everybody for asking us the questions. And if today we cannot answer you here at the live Q&A, you are always welcome to send us email or send us message, call us to discuss more. Okay. First question.
Yes.
How's the Fimic SPA screw pump different compared to the conventional gear pump? Okay, so this is very good questions, and this is why we designed the screw pump for plastic recycling industry, because the plastic recycling it's always very often to see the plastic melt to find the contamination in plastic melt. So the conventional screw pump, the conventional gear pump is more sensitive. The gear in the gear pump is more sensitive. So we use screw, which is less delicate, to process the material with contamination. Like I mentioned before in the presentation, the gear pump needs a pre-filter to protect the gear in the gear pump. But the screw pump, it doesn't need this pre-filtration. So this is a very big advantage for plastic recyclers to use screw pump in comparing to the gear pump.
Okay, we have more new questions coming, but you can take your time and answer the question one by one. Okay. So Mikale, would you like to also add something?
Oh, well, actually, what Aria said on this question specifically, it's very comprehensive. She said gear pumps are normally very sensitive to contaminations, especially aggressive contaminations, like which can be easily found in post-consumer materials like metals of any type, glass, sand, little stones, for example, that can be easily found in any post-consumer stream. And that's why typically gear pumps need a protection filter before the pump, which with the SPA screw pump, you don't need. Okay. So, of course, in this case, you are saving manpower, you're saving investment, and you're saving maintenance costs.
Okay, thank you for adding that. And I suggest Mikele, please speak up a little bit for the delegates. Yeah, because we hear your volume a bit soft.
Okay,
And
excellent.
okay, great. Thank you for that. Aria, are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
We have quite many questions. Okay, next one.
What situation can benefit from the implement of a Fimic SPS group pump?
Oh, a basic question.
Yeah, but this is also very important because our screw pump is designed for two big advantages. One is to use with a twin screw extruder to avoid the limit, the pressure limitation. So because normally in general, the twin screw extruder, it has a pressure limitation at the extruder outlet. So this screw pump is to install right after the twin screw extruder to decrease the pressure from the outlet of the twin screw, and then increase again, so it can push more output from the extruder. It will not stop the output from the outlet of the extruder, because if the pressure at the outlet of extruder stops, it gives too high pressure, then the material will go back to the degassing zone and come out from there. So this is the first advantage of the screw pump. And second one is to instead of using two stage of the extruder for 2 times filtration, the screw pump can be installed directly between 2 filters. So if customer, they need a 2 times filtration, but they don't need the degassing from the second extruder, they can use a screw pump instead of using mother and baby type extruder.
I see. Mikele, would you like to add something?
Yes, actually, it's a real situation because I'm here also for that reason. This customer here in France, they are using a twin screw co-rotating extruder and reprocessing 100% post-consumer material. This twin screw extruder has a limitation of about 120 bars. So after 120 bars, then the material will start to come back out from the degassing zone, as Aria just mentioned. It's a very typical situation. And therefore, they had to install a gear pump to avoid that. But, gear pump is always the same. So in order to protect the gears of a gear pump, they had to install a slide plate filter to protect it before the gear pump. Okay, so in case of a SPA installation, they could avoid the manual slide plate filter type, pre-filtration, and directly install the screw pump just after the extruder, followed by melt filter.
I see. Aria, are you ready for the next one?
Okay. Mikele, would you prefer to answer this one?
Sure. Screw pump will increase the production. How to install this pump while using extrusion? I'm not sure if I understand correctly while using extrusion, but I can explain both. Let's say in case of a repelletizing line, either twin screw or single screw, in case of a pelletizing line with recycled material, for example, it can increase the production because in case of a twin screw, for example, as we said already, you have virtually no pressure limitation. So that's why you can exploit the full potential of the twin screw extruder without any limitation due to pressure. And in case of, for example, of a single screw, we also have projects for installing the screw pump after the filter. Why? Because if you install it after the filter, and we have seen that already, it's not just theory. If you install the screw pump after the filter, you are decreasing the outlet pressure of the filter. So instead of having a die plate directly after the filter, with the screw pump between the filter and the die plate, the outlet pressure of the filter will be decreased automatically. We will gain more margin as the input pressure of the filter. So this means that virtually you can exploit the full potential of the melt filter in terms of pressure availability. And in that case, of course, you can increase the output of the extruder. to the maximum possible.
I hope that answered your question.
Hopefully.
Mold Nastium.
Okay.
Aria, please pick the next one.
Okay.
You can take some time. Okay, this one from JC, Joseph Class City.
Okay. Why is the Fimic SPA improving results in the plastic recycling line or in the compounding line using recycled plastics? So our SPS group pump has some following advantages. First one is very simple to use, and it requires lower maintenance because the screw in the screw pump is less sensitive comparing to the gears. And it gives more economical advantages also in short-term perspective because you don't need so much maintenance, and the spare parts you don't need to change very often. So it can help you to save more operational costs. And also the longer life for the wearable parts, the screw itself, comparing to the gears, you don't need to change very often. And also you will optimize the performance of the extruder. Like we mentioned before, you will help the extruder to stable stable the pressure, so you can push more output from the extruder. Anything else you would like to add, Kelly?
No, I think that that fits perfectly the question.
Let's move on.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, by the way, I will leave the Aria's contact information later at the end. If we run out of time, I can say that I can tell we have many questions. You can still feel free to email them for the further discussion.
Yes.
Aria, are you ready for the next one?
Okay. Yes. So here, this question: the SPA technology is able to give the output up around 6 tons per hour. And for this question, I would like to clarify. For the 6 tons per hour, this is the output from our filter that the biggest filter can achieve, not the screw pump. The screw pump at the moment we can achieve maximum 2 tons per hour, and we are still designing for the larger capacity ones. But this is very interesting, especially for Asian, the recyclers in Asia, because to the recycling industry in Europe now, the new trend is to have one machine which can go with higher output, maybe more than 1 ton, 2 tons. And now even a lot of recyclers, they are trying to reach to having a higher output. So because the recycling industry in Europe, they want to make everything more automatic, so it's easier for the operator to operate, and they can produce better quality of the material and save more operational cost. So this is a pretty interesting new trend that we want to use this opportunity to share with everybody here in Asia. So if you want to discuss anything more, you can always let us know. And Michele, would you like to add something that when you visit the customers in Europe and what they are doing now?
Yes. I mean, as Aria was saying, let's say here in Europe, generally the recycling market is pretty developed, and the trend, especially starting from 2025, will every plastic product will need to incorporate a certain amount of recycled plastics. So of course, this is pushing demand to the stars. Yeah, the recycling demand for recycled material is booming because everybody has to get ready for that. And of course, for many applications, quality is needed and capacity is needed. So both imply using as best as possible automatic technologies and technologies which allow high outputs. And that's where we can help both in terms of melt filtration and in terms now of melt transportation without limitations, let's say, without limitations for output, without limitations for contaminations, and with the end target of reaching the best possible quality.
Okay, let's go back to Aria.
Okay.
Sorry, just to add one last point to this question, for example.
Of course.
All our products, all Fimic products are dedicated to contaminated plastics. So that's where you get, customers get the most advantages out of them. So both melt filters are dedicated to post-industrial, especially post-consumer plastics. And the screw pump now is mainly dedicated to reprocess post-consumer plastics, where contamination is there. So that's why our products, being not so sensitive to contaminations, get the most advantages out of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question. How will Fimic serve the Asian Asian market, given that the production, because it's my screen is covered this, so production site is in Italy. Is there any special arrangement for this? Fimic, we've been installing several filters in Asia already, and the customers, we've been giving support from Italy to customers, because all our machines, it can be connected to the Ethernet. So if customer they need any assistance, we can check remotely from our office, and we can tell customer about their settings or what improvement they can do on the machines. So so far, everything is pretty successful. And since the COVID started, we also helped many customers. More than 50 machines was installed remotely from Italy to everywhere around the world. So for this part, for the customers here in Asia, you don't need to worry about that, because we're always online to give you support.
Okay. So Mikhail, would you like to add something on that?
Exactly what Aria said. We guarantee, this is not a joke, we guarantee answer for troubleshooting within 24 hours from the request, if possible with less time, of course. We are always online to help you out. And we also have after-sale assistance by WhatsApp, for example, 7 days a week. This is no problem. So this is, in our opinion, an excellent service that we can provide to our customers worldwide. Also, in terms of, for example, of spare parts orders, for example, we have, as we are specialized into this product, we don't have 20 different range of products. That's why we try to manufacture everything internally, everything possible, of course, internally, in-house. And that's why we could create spare parts portals where our customers get their own page, their own access. They access to the portal, they order spare parts. If we get the order, for example, the request for the order within 12 noon time, let's say Central European time, we can ship the parts on the same day, which is excellent, really excellent, without modesty. We are very proud of our after-sales service as well.
Great, that's very important. So Aria, we can, I think because of time issue, we can extend a little bit. You could also answer like 1 to 2 questions to the last if you want.
Okay.
We exit the time a little bit now.
Okay.
But it's fine. Yeah, I can tell that people are eager to ask more questions, have further discussion. We even have more new questions now coming up, right? Mikhail, you can also take a look at the Q&A mode, the columns.
Please, Aria, just go ahead.
Okay. How Fimic melt filter for plastics recycling differ from other available technologies? So Fimic's philosophy for designing and manufacturing every kind of machine from our company, the filter, guillotines, and also the new screw pump. Our philosophy is to create a machine which is very easy to use and to let customer increase the performance. That's very important for customer to produce better quality of the recycled pellets. And at the same time, we want customer to save the operational cost to the maximum. So comparing to other automatic filters, First of all, our automatic filter, it has the spare parts for the automatic filter we produce. It's very, very affordable. So it can significantly to reduce the operational cost for customer. And also very importantly, we can reach to 18 micron fine filtration by the laser screen now. So this technology is also very important to customer because now finer filtration is more and more recyclers, they want to reach to finer filtration. And thirdly, Fimic's automatic filter, we have the largest filtration surface when we compare to the output to other, for the same output and the filtration surface comparing to the other brands of automatic filter, we have the largest one. So for the larger surface, green surface, it means the temperature and the pressure will be lower, which is good for the recyclers because the material will not be overheated, and also the pressure will not push the material past the screen. This is important. And also we can control very good melt loss. On average, about 1%, depends on the contamination, but comparing to other brands, we can control much better melt loss. And also it's very easy and simple to use, and customer, they only require about 30 minutes to every time when they do the maintenance. So this is also very important for the customer. So for all kind of product that we produce, we always want customer to have easy, and they don't need to have any headache for the machine and the operation and the maintenance for the machine.
Okay. We have been over a little time, so please pick the next question as our final, and then we will make a conclusion to the delegates. All right? Okay.
Okay. With implement the SPA in the screw extruder, how often we have to change the mesh?
Oh.
Michele, would you prefer to answer this one?
Yes, actually, it is let's say not related to each other because if you the SPA is a screw pump, so we are not. It is not increasing or decreasing the contamination. It is just transporting the melt with contamination easily and better, and without any, let's say, with much lower operational costs and with much lower limitations compared to other conventional gear pumps. Okay, so it has no, let's say, it has no consequence on the frequency of mesh change. That is not related. But still, the consequence, the only consequence I can think of with a normal manual or slide plate filter, for example, that's also a line where you can install the screw pump. This is not just limited to Fimic melt filters. Of course, improving the performance of the extruder could lead to faster screen changes because more material is coming and with more contamination. So this is the only consequence I can think of about a filter. But the screw pump, let's say, is not influencing the frequency of screen change.
Okay. So, Aria, would you like to add something on that too?
It's what Michele says is very good. Yeah. So
okay.
There are two different things. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to ask both of you kindly to give us a conclusion and also give thanks to our delegates to stay with us until now. Even we cannot cover every questions to you, you're welcome to contact them later. All right, Aria, would you please start first?
Yes, and thank you very much for your time today. And because of a time limitation, we cannot answer all the questions. Like I see Andrew and Peter, you guys still have some more questions, and could you please leave me your email, or you can contact me by our email. We will answer all the questions, and also we welcome other customers. And if you have any questions that you want to discuss and you are shy to ask us here, then please send us email. It's always our pleasure to assist everybody.
Okay, I promise I will show their emails later. Okay,
Yeah.
at the end of my presentation. All right, Michele.
Well, I would like first of all to thank Aria. She did an amazing job. And to thank all the participants to this webinar. This is actually the first webinar of the day. We are presenting 7 webinars worldwide. Yeah. We are presenting the screw pump on a global level, on a planetary level. So all of us are issuing a webinar. Mine will be European time, 2 p.m.
Wow.
So we are very excited today, and we are very excited to show everybody what we can do and what our latest innovation is. We really believe that can help recycling companies and compounding companies now to improve their performance, quality, and results. So thank you all.
Thank you, Michele, and thank you, Aria Chen. It's very it's very sad for me have to say goodbye to both of you. Thank you, and please join our future events as well. Okay, bye-bye, Aria. Bye-bye, Michele.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Also, delegates, yes, please say goodbye to Aria and Michele. Oh. Why is Aria still here? Okay, maybe the internet connection. Okay, once again, screenshot this page if you want to have further discussion and if you have more questions to their recycling innovation technologies. It's very amazing, right? To hear that they have many webinars today. It's very exciting. And I think they're ready, right? And also, I like their 3D demonstration video. I like that very much. If you want to see more, contact them. Contact Aria Chen. All right. Today we learned a breakthrough technology that will definitely improve the plastic recycling and other tips to improve the quality of the reclaimed materials so that they can be used in higher value applications. After listening to the insightful presentations, I believe all of us, not only had a fulfilling day, but also gained a lot of knowledge. Because of the time issue, as Aria just said, we have to finish our presentations now. But for those questions asked in the chat room, Aria said that they will cover that later. And also, thank you for your time. We hope to see you again in our upcoming webinars. We have many webinars related to plastic, circular economy, and smart factory later within this month and next month. Please stay tuned with Ringier events. Also, before you leave, please find a pin text that answer the feedback question. Okay, before you leave, answer the feedback question so we can do better for you and Fimic can have a better understanding of your questions or your needs. I'm Jack from Ringier Trade Media. Thanks everyone for joining your participation today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.